We're back.
Look at this. No cord. Look what I can do that you can't do.
That's pretty good. You know what I can
That was
do?
like a perfect spin. Talk to your microphone and not be muted.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome everybody to episode 35 and a half or 36 and a half of ELR. I'm very sorry that I deprived the whole world of last week's episode.
He beefed it.
Long story short, I beef stewed all over the place. Long story short, I am bad at technology. Evidently, I misunderstood the readings on my audio indicators on my recording software.
Yeah, it happens.
I made that sound way more complicated than it needed to be.
Oh.
Long story short, I was muted. I
Yeah.
just made my microphone not work. So
It happens.
very dumb.
Not to me,
Yeah.
but
Anyway.
to others.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think last week we want to do just like a real quick rehash of last week's show, but like abbreviated, then get into what's been going on this week. So home run derby.
Yes, sir. Yeah, last week we talked about all things that were All-Star break and home run derby, man. So I'll just say what I said last week. The new format is probably a 9 out of 10. Like, I loved the rushed feel. I like that they could hit a home run and just watch it fly. But the Netflix production, 1 out of 10. Everything they did was terrible. I hated, and probably you'll agree with me, let's say on the count of 3, what we hated the most. I don't know if we'll say the exact same words, but 1, 2, 3, Will Ferrell and stupid
Luke
comedians
Wilson.
talking.
And other guy that I've never heard of.
Yeah, dude, that totally killed the moment. The All-Star game is finally starting. It's the big opening thing, and every time they introduce a player, they have Will Ferrell doing some weird character that no one cares about in his second dozen random movie that nobody's gonna watch. Like,
Yeah. No,
I like Will Ferrell, but it's just like, why are all of these streaming platforms, when they finally get their big moment, hiring just these random comedians with no script, no leads, just throwing them out there saying, "Hey, be funny," and in front of the world.
Netflix has a problem of, hey, we have this live production of something and we're just going to use it as this giant promotion for whatever thing we have going on, and there's a time and a place to do it, and during the actual show is not it. If you want to have a commercial for whatever Luke Wilson and Will Ferrell have going on your platform, sure, but we don't need it. Like, you have Michael Buffer coming in and introducing the players. You can't have Michael Buffer and Will Ferrell and Luke Wilson in the same. That doesn't work. Like, what they needed to have was Michael Buffer. He does his announcements, and as each player is walking in, because none of them have any sort of aura at all, they just walk in, have it, have some B-roll of, here's the 15 home runs that Jack Caglione hit. Here's Junior Camanero's 28 home runs. Just show those while they're walking in. You didn't need...
and just have the calls of Rex Hudler go, oh! Yeah. Like, that can be what they play for the stadium, and then just plug the audio from Netflix into the PA speakers so that the people listening at home are also getting to hear the PA calls and watch the video, side by side it, whatever you need to do. Yeah, I completely agree.
But loved the format. I liked the kind of 10 outs thing that they did before the timer that they had the last 5 seasons. This was kind of getting back to that. I think it was a good idea. Overall, I'm not a big home run derby guy anyway. So like, I'm probably the wrong person to like come in and be like, this is what they did well and this is what they did poorly. But overall, good event.
Yeah.
And I like that they're going to continue. And Netflix, I think the more they do it, the better they'll get at it. You know, I think viewer feedback, they'll probably adjust a little bit.
Yeah, it was the lowest viewed home run derby in history. So I hope their feedback is higher valued because of it, like by default. But one of the things I wanted, the only like actual format and what they can do tomorrow to fix it, I will die on the hill. Like Netflix, I'm paying you so that I don't have to see ads, right? If I'm being forced to see ads, that's when you throw in the Will Ferrell commercial for whatever movie. Whenever Jack Caglione is batting, don't have some random stupid player that I've never heard of and don't care about yapping over Jack Caglione's entire at bat. They're not talking about him, or they're not recapping Jack Caglione at all. I didn't come into this expecting Jack Caglione to win the home run derby, but it totally took away from the Royals fans' fun when I'm watching. Within the first 60 seconds, Jack hits 10 straight 120-mile-per-hour line drives, trying to take the heads off of all the kids in right field. And I'm sitting there like, okay, stop. Like the dad is prime Nolan Ryan trying to pitch against the clock still. It's like he didn't realize that he didn't have to pitch as fast as he could. He's just giving him fastball after fastball after fastball, and you were going to say something before I make my next point.
I was going to say they did the same thing when Salvador Perez was in the Derby during his at-bat. They were just like over on the ESPN panel yapping about something, like not even giving a care in the world to Salvi. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's so dumb. And we had points in our previous episodes about like this might be the MLB trying to push these young names like Jack Caglione, Junior Caminario, some of these younger guys that are up and coming. They're in their 23 years age, and the MLB, this might be the next stars. This might be the next Aaron Judges. So they're trying to really push them. Way to completely prove me wrong when they're doing some stupid player interview talking over Keglion's entire at bat. So I say that. Another thing I really don't like to see is how quickly, like, this is me coping because Cags obviously lost. He had a 6 home run back to back to back to back to back, jack to jack to jack to jack to jack, as the Royal said. 6 straight swings with a home run, which was awesome. And he ended with 8 home runs. He left in the first round. Shocker. That's the third out of 4 straight first round exits for Royals home run derby contestants with Moose and Salvi. And Bobby, he hit something like 50 or 60 home runs in 2024, and then Jack obviously only hits 8. But I kind of want, it's a home run derby. Maybe take away some of the stupid production and crap that no one cares about. Take out some of the fluff and maybe be more prepared to have players go back to back so you don't have to go to as many commercial breaks. I mean, they're obviously making their money by doing this. They made a 3-hour production out of a home run derby, which is insane. Like, I'm here to watch home runs, not ads. So maybe add a few more swings to each player each round. Like, I would be okay with them adding like 5 extra swings and then really making these players pace themselves throughout the opportunities that they have. And then lastly, it was the camera angles. What are the camera angles? I'm getting a shot that's like the chest and the shoulders of these batters taking these beautiful swings, and then there's like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they take a swing and then they look up and the ball is who knows where. The cameramen don't know where to zoom. They don't know where the ball is. They finally find it and they're zoomed in all the way. Turns out they finally pan down. It lands in the warning track. The way the cameramen were being told to do it is act like every swing is a home run. So
yeah,
just very weird. Like
having
the skill level didn't seem like it was there as far as the production value. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, the production wasn't there. I think it would benefit from having some sort of tracer technology added, because there were like, I have no idea where this ball is or how far it really got hit. I need some actual like real-time StatCast visuals to really play this up. That'd be sweet. But let's move on to the All-Star game.
So the American League won 4-0, and it's the 20th time since the year 2000 that the American League has won. Shocker.
Yeah, no,
you can say the next thing.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I was looking this up because I was like, growing up, I'm like, I feel like the AL has just dominated the All-Star game. I looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah, they've won it a ridiculous amount of times. NL's won it 5 times since 2000. There was a tie in 2002. There wasn't an All-Star game in 2020, obviously. So AL, it just
and it no longer
better at the All-Star game. And yeah, and what you're about to say, that it used to count it used to mean something, the All-Star game, where the winner of the All-Star game would get home field advantage in the World Series. That no longer applies anymore. Royals were beneficiaries of that both times they went to the World Series.
Yeah. Super cool. And it's funny because we talked about it in the episode that was Lost in the Void, how I was kind of comparing the other sports, how it seems like MLB still has one of the best All-Star games because it seems like the players actually get to try and have fun and it's not going to like affect their season. Obviously, Junior Caminero was hit in the hand. He avoided breaking his pinky, which is good.
Gosh.
But you hate to see that. Like that's the one thing you don't want to see in any of these Pro Bowls, All-Star games, anything like that is injuries. And that's why leagues like the NFL have gotten away from having actual awesome Pro Bowls and All-Star games where the players are actually trying really hard. The games mean nothing. There's no actual results that are going to be tallied or taken from these games. Of course, one player is going to get MVP. Shout out Cody Bellinger hitting a 2-run single
in the first inning,
getting MVP. Yeah,
didn't do anything
first inning
else.
getting MVP. Which, fun fact, Bobby Witt Jr. did score on that single, didn't he? Or was it the next single?
I believe he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So the two fun people that, oh yeah, we mentioned the intro. Their little intro with the fireworks and the bikes and the kids and stuff. That was pretty fun. I liked that. I loved when they were introducing the players and they came out and they all signed the Declaration of Independence starting lineup thing.
Yeah. No, that was sweet. They really did it up. They did it up. They did the...
It's a clever way for the league to get the players to agree to the new CBA.
Yeah.
I think that's what you said.
Yeah. Yeah, they did the 250th Proud in Philly. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even though it was like if you wanted a baseball game, like a just average baseball game, you got it. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, it was a no-hitter up until like the 5th or 6th inning for the National League. They hadn't gotten a hit yet.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a snooze fest. You know, like as soon as the Royals players got subbed out, I was like, all right, I can leave. I actually, dude, the moment I heard that Bobby Witt Jr. wasn't going to be hitting next, I hopped in my car and went and got Raising Cane's. I was like, I'm ready to move on with my day.
Yeah. Like that logic, that mindset is how I am with the home run derby. Because I'm like,
yeah,
I just, it doesn't do much for me. It's just glorified batting practice. But I'm like, oh, Jack's in it. Like, oh, obviously I'm going to watch him. If he goes the distance, and I'm locked in for the night. But if he's out the first round, then it's like, I kind of have an out. And I'll have it on the second screen.
Yeah. Well, it does its purpose because I remember in 2024, you and I, we texted occasionally, but I didn't have a subscription to Royals TV. I wasn't locked in with the Royals at all back then because I thought that they sucked. And 2024, Bobby Witt Jr. makes the home run derby. I was locked in the whole entire time, and you remember the home run derby ended on a non-home run by Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah,
because what's his nuts Hernandez or what's his name?
Was it who? I don't even know who won that one.
Teoscar Hernandez.
Oh,
it was Teoscar Hernandez.
Okay.
He had a certain number of home runs. Bobby was trying to catch up to that number to either tie or advance or win. And on his very last opportunity, very last second, he hits a ball, looks like it's going out, and it hits the wall and doesn't go over. And we're all like, oh! And what happened was, I was like, frick, I miss this. I miss baseball. Because I was a Royals fan. I mean, we were all huge Royals fans in the 2010s, but it like reawakened a sleeping monster inside of me. So the home run derby served its purpose for one person 1 year. So, I mean, I'm sure it served its purpose for somebody else. Like all the people in Missouri that are Cardinals fans, shout out Jordan Walker, the champion. That was a great way to end it. I know we're trying to talk about the All-Star game, but just to kind of serve the purpose of All-Star weekend, like if you're not going to, if the All-Star game didn't scratch your itch, maybe the home run derby did. If you're a Cardinals fan, it does scratch your itch. It's the first Cardinal to ever win, and it was a beautiful way to end it. Wilson Contreras hit X home runs. It was Schwarber. Schwarber hit X home runs for the Philly crowd. Everyone was hype. Jordan Walker comes in. He's down by like 3. He gets his extra swings there at the end because it can't end on a non-home run, or It can't end on a home run. You get infinite swings there at the end if you keep hitting home runs. And he had 6 straight home runs to end up winning. So they could not have had a better ending with that rule change being in place for the first year. So, it kind of fired me up. Like I mean, I've always liked the home run derby. I'm a home run fan, but blah, blah, blah. If it served its purpose for one, like there could be one kid out there. I guarantee you, tons of St. Louis fans that were lukewarm about baseball. They just saw their guy win the home run derby, and now they look at their team and they're, in the hunt. So
those poor St. Louis Cardinals fans that have had a couple down years, now they're back.
Yeah. I know. But they're, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to finish it off, Bobby Witt Jr., he had a walk in the first inning. He scored on that Bellinger single, and then later on he reached on a fielder's choice because he's fast as frick. And then Michael Wacha had 1 inning pitch, 2 strikeouts. He was sexy.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
All right. Well, that's a little rehash of All-Star break.
Yep.
Now we got to actually talk about stuff that we don't love to see, but we got to do it. The Royals' first half officially over. We're obviously a series into the second half, but let's just run through these stats of where the Royals sit in some of these major statistical categories.
Yes,
100 games in, 100 plus games in.
Yeah. So I saw you quickly change the notes before the All-Star break, before we just won 3 out of 4 games since the All-Star break. We had a 38-59 record, so we were 21 games below 500. Since the break, we've had 2 walk-off victories. We've had 3 wins out of 4 games, so we're a little bit better, but we still have the 3rd worst record in the entire MLB. So in the first I keep blundling my mouth. So one of the main things I wanted to bring up is that after the first half, so in our second half, we had 21 series remaining. We had 11 home series and 10 away series. If we were to win every single series, that's 2 out of 3. We have a couple 4-game series that technically if we won, it would be 3 out of 4. So we'd get 2 games on those series. If we won every single series for the rest of the season, we would still be right at, if not slightly below, 500. And if we go exactly 500, we are still a 90-loss team.
Yeah.
That's how big of a hole we've dug ourselves. So why don't we get into some of the stats as to why we are in this big hole?
So, yeah, I'll run through the offensive. Honestly, like, I'll say this. The offense isn't, if you're just looking at it from a blanket, like, overall view, the offense really isn't horrible. But you look at it and they have a minus 88 run differential. I know that's kind of a mixture of both sides, but they're minus 88. That was 3rd worst in the league at the end of the first half. Runners in scoring position, 249 batting average. That's 10th worst in the league. 693 OPS, 3rd worst in the league. Like with runners in scoring position, they're just a team that cannot score runs, and the run differential plays into that. But really where the wheels fall off is the pitching, and I'm gonna throw it over to you and because you have a much longer list than what I put together.
Yeah, and it's because I kind of feel like this is the reason. I mean, I could sit here and complain about the batting. Like at one point, only a couple weeks ago, we had the most hits as a team in the entire American League. But that didn't account for the fact that we had something like the 5th least home runs, and we had something like the 3rd worst OPS as a team. Yeah. So it's kind of telling a story. We're getting on base, but we're not scoring. But run support is definitely not the only thing. I mean, with pitching, The bullpen is a little bit worse than the starters. We were talking earlier in the season about how this might be one of the best starting rotations in the MLB. When healthy, you weren't exactly wrong, because they're in the first month or two, we were right up there for most quality starts. We both said it in our recap videos many times that we were still up there in some of the most quality starts. We would be like, oh, Seth Lugo had a quality start, Stephen Kolek had a quality start, Bubich had a quality start, Reagans, Waka, all of them. They were just putting in quality innings, keeping us in the game. But at the end of the first half, we had a 4.95 ERA as a team. That's the third worst in the entire MLB. The bullpen ERA was 5.43. That is the fourth worst in the entire franchise history of Kansas City baseball. 371 walks, that's fifth worst. 743 strikeouts, that sounds like a lot, but it's the fifth worst in the MLB. We have a 1.45 whip. So that is walks and hits per innings pitched. That's third worst in the MLB. 129 home runs given up, that's sixth worst. A 264 batting average against, that's the third worst. We've given up 500 runs, which is fourth worst. Out of 39 save opportunities, so this doesn't count the last couple games because we've had multiple blown saves already. Out of 39 save opportunities, we've had 16 blown saves. That's a 59% save percentage. That's 10th worst in the MLB. But 35 wild pitches, which is fourth worst. High leverage situations, the batting average against is even worse. It's a 278. And just a couple quick standout stats, starters versus relievers. Starters have faced 59%-ish of the plate appearances this season, and they have 38 wins total as a starting rotation. That's the worst in baseball. Relievers have faced about 41% of the plate appearances, and they have a 364 on-base percentage, which is bottom 5 in baseball. So it really makes you wonder. I'm sitting here watching all these different players come in and get taken out. So we have the Bailey Falter that comes in. He pitches 3 or 4 games, gives up something like 20 runs. He gets DFA'd. Mitch Spence, another guy that we were really hoping would work out. We signed him over the offseason. He comes in and he makes 3 or 4 appearances, gives up 20-something runs, and then we DFA him. So far, I don't know if you realize it, Tyler Tolbert has as many pitching appearances as Bailey Falter and Mitch Spence, and so far he's given up less earned runs, which is not good considering he's given up a lot.
Greatest two-way player the Royals have ever had.
Literally. So, we can sit here this entire first half. We've been trying to diagnose what's wrong with the Royals. Obviously, we don't score a ton of runs, so that's one of the problems. But clearly, our pitching is terrible. We don't know how to stay healthy as a starting rotation. We're putting out pitchers like Randy Dobnak. You've heard of him.
Went 4 1/3 the other day.
Luinder Avila. Yeah, big, huge accomplishment, right? That's where the Royals are at.
Well, that's
the
bullpen especially, and even the starters a lot, has been like, I don't even know who you guys are, and there's been 2 players that we really haven't been upset with as far as the bullpen is concerned, and Daniel Lynch the fourth, and then John Schreiber, who I feel like we just have not talked about at all this season because he does his job, and we just don't think about it.
It's funny because whenever we were starting our podcast, John Schreiber was one of the people that I was kind of expecting to be talking about a lot because he got a lot of appearances in 2025. So I was kind of expecting to have the conversations of he's hot and cold because that's what he was in 2025. He's done aggressively okay. He hasn't had any huge bad starts, relieving appearances. And the people that have been terrible are the ones that we're kind of leaning on the most. And Carlos Estevez leaves. He leaves the picture. And so we're leaning in on Lucas Erceg. He has been a astronomical disappointment. I wouldn't even care if we cut him tomorrow. Alex Ling, he was starting to find himself, and I remember you and I were wondering if he was the answer. No. Is the answer. No.
Not anymore.
He is not. So it's kind of hard for us to gauge, I remember a conversation we had was talking about Daniel Lynch IV. One of the reasons he wasn't being thrust into the high leverage situations is because there was talk of him being a trade candidate, and the Royals didn't want to thrust him into the high leverage situations, him fail, and then us not be able to have a better return for Daniel Lynch by trading him. So he's been okay, and it's really sad to look at this season. Like, at first it wasn't the injuries, but now it kind of is the injuries, and these people are not able to answer the call. And again, we just keep trying to diagnose what's wrong, and offensive players, they're just not performing the way they thought they would, the way that we thought they would, and then they get a scapegoat moment like Vinny and like Garcia with these injuries. The only person that's been healthy this whole time is Salvi, and he's been one of the least performing ones, but we have to be happy for Salvi because he's about to break the Royals record for most home runs ever. So it's like we're kind of stuck, like as fans, we're kind of stuck, like we're happy to see them succeed when they do, like, go ahead.
That's the Salvi moment. I think I said it a few weeks ago, like obviously this season's not going well for anybody, but like there's a few positives and things to be excited about that are happening this season. And I think Salvador Perez, obviously, like the ascension of Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen and going, they're the real deal. But Salvador Perez is about to do something historic. And I think in a season that is completely lost, I think being able to take the time and celebrate. If you're surpassing George Brett on a Royals list, you have done something right. So you're
completely right about that.
Yeah, I think he's one home run away. He has 316. He needs one more to tie, 2 to surpass. He's hit 2 home runs in 3 days. So if you're why should I watch the Royals right now? Tune in for Salvador Perez's at-bats and see some history.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And it would be even better if he could get it done this homestand. We've only got 2 games left. Time of recording, it's before the Tuesday night game against the Giants, and then we got the day game Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully he can get that done. That would be super cool. I know it's a hot one out there today. Tomorrow might be a little cooler, but hoping that he can get that done in front of Kauffman Stadium's fans, because that would be a great moment for him. Could happen in Detroit next week, or this weekend, I should say. It could happen in Minnesota next week. Could happen in Colorado. That'd be a great place to get a bunch of home runs. Yeah. So, if he doesn't do it now, he might do it out of town. But
yeah, it's a 10-game or a 9-game road trip, so pretty likely there.
Yeah, you're very right. So, all this being said, I think one of the other things that we talked about last week was who to point the finger at, and I think one of the greatest fan sentiments was how much we were ready to just move on from everything in 2026. It is lost to the void, so I mean, I'm kind of hesitant to bring it up, but we did declare that we were sellers on 2026 as a podcast. The ELR stance is that we're done with 2026. We're ready to just change everything. And as far as I'm concerned, kind of my take was it can't really get a ton worse. And if you're using 2026 as any sort of leverage, if you want to use 2026, what it did was it kind of answered that we can't run it back with who we have, and the little moves that we're making aren't enough, and all we're doing is getting older. So 2027, Salvador Perez probably is not on this team, and we have to start moving in that direction. What's this next regime going to look like? We know that Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be on this team. He's untouchable. Jack Caglione is going to be on this team. He's untouchable pretty much. And Carter Jensen, he's not untouchable, but he's in that conversation of he's probably safe. Really, everybody else should be fair game for a trade. On Twitter, it was kind of rumored that Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo were both not going to get any trade looks, but we're kind of like, who would trade for them at this point? I mean, Michael Wacha, he has a great case to be traded. Anybody that needs a starter would trade for Michael Wacha, but Seth Lugo is not really the case because he's been struggling so much.
Michael Wacha's tough because if you are the Royals and you have any belief that you're going to be competitive in 2027, I know looking at it now, it's hard to even have any sort of optimism about it, but Michael Wacha's under contract through 2027, and if you're going to compete, you're going to need him. Because look at what he's done. But on the flip side, from a trade perspective, Michael Wacha is under control until 2027. So if that raises his trade value if you're the Royals. Like, because a lot of rental players, like Lane Thomas, is probably going to get traded because his deal expires after the season. So you're going to flip him to get something out of him. But Michael Wacha, you could probably get a better package than you typically would at a trade deadline deal. So
yeah,
it's like I don't envy JJ Piccolo there at all. That's what I'll say.
Well, what sucks the most with this situation is I don't think you or I are sold that the Matt Quatraro, JJ Piccolo regime is built for the MLB or has the competence to know where the moves need to be made. And from a fan perspective, I'm not going to pretend like I could put together an MLB roster any better, especially considering you have all of these teams in your farm system. You have your AAA team, your AA team, your high A and low A teams, and your rookie ball teams. You've got 5 different teams with entire rosters that you're kind of in charge of managing. I know that the other teams have their own GMs. They have their own managers to kind of, obviously take care of those players. But yeah, I don't really have faith that they're the ones that are going to be the answer. And it kind of gives me a little pause letting these guys who I don't even know if they're going to be here much longer have control of our future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a part of me that wishes we could I'm not calling for their jobs or anything, but would you be mad if we found out that Piccolo, Quatraro, Zumwalt, Kyle Turner were all relieved of their duties? Someone else came in, and then they just traded everybody besides Bobby Jack. Like, there's a part of me that's like, okay, we used 2026, we sucked, but at least we know that these players aren't it. And we're completely starting over fresh with a completely different team. Whether or not they're going to be successful in the next couple years, I have no idea. But it's kind of the writing's on the wall for where we're at with this team. And like, I don't want to see Vinny leave. I don't want to see Michael Garcia leave. I don't want to see him leave. I'm fans of them, but they're not winning. They're not even competing. They're losing. They're losers. So it makes my heart hurt knowing that that's kind of like what we are faced with.
My thought is, because I feel like I've tried to defend Quatraro for a lot of the season, and I've been just over the last couple weeks, and I might have already said this, but I'm going to say it again. I don't see a scenario where the Royals can move forward with him as their manager, and I think I don't think there's any person on the on-field staff, whether it's Matt Quatraro, Brian Sweeney, Alex Zumwalt, I don't think any of them should be safe. I think it would be best for everybody if they just restarted. And I don't even know if I'm like, they should just trade everybody, because I do think, like, again, offensively, I don't necessarily know if trading a bunch of players, like, I don't think it's going to just solve it overnight. You know what I mean?
I'm not asking it to solve it overnight. I think the 2026 is a wash. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, we can win.
Yeah.
But
100%.
I'm yeah, like I mentioned it earlier. And to say what I was going to say, if we go 500 or win 2 out of 3 for the rest of the season, we're still going to be a losing team. So this season is kind of like we're donezo, and I'm not expecting 2027 to be a ton better. All I'm saying is, do we have a better chance of trading everybody, being a little bit better next year, as opposed to just keeping running it back with the losing organization.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, but my thought process is I think the Royals need to have a sense of urgency because like we've said it multiple weeks, like Bobby Witt Jr. has an opt-out in 2030. If this team is not showing any signs of life 2027, which we know like lockout looming probably 2028, 2029, it's closer than you think it is. This team has to put some sort of competitive roster together sooner rather than later. And like it has, I think, like maybe start spending a little more money, like go out and make that splash. And hey, who's the third best outfield free agent on the market right now? Go get him, right? Who can I trade?
Support that.
Yeah, who can I trade? What second baseman is on the market that I can go get to where the Royals can have a serviceable second baseman, right? But I just I look at I just can't see a scenario where like Matt Quatraro, like the further we get from 2024, I'm like, this guy is not it. I lose faith in JJ Piccolo. He's like, I look at kind of what he's done, and a lot of his moves have aged like milk. Like the Aroldis Chapman trade for Cole Reagans. Okay, that at the very beginning it was great, but Cole Reagans is now, I think, had his third Tommy John surgery in his career. So we traded for an injury-prone pitcher and got an injury-prone pitcher. Seth Lugo.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo probably should have traded him at the deadline and then didn't. And he has been not great ever since. The Matt Strom.
After he gets paid, he just dies off.
The Matt Strom trade I'm pretty sure Matt Strom has an ERA north of 7. That's without looking it up. Nick Mears.
And don't even talk about Jonathan Bolin, who we traded him for, essentially.
Yeah. Nick Mears.
Like, that was our replacement.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nick Mears injured. Isaac Collins hasn't. Jonathan India, re-signed Jonathan India, hurt. You could just go on and on and on. Like, Bobby Witt Jr., they extended him. Oh, good job. Anybody would have done that.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I'm kind of like, for me, I'm looking at John Sherman and going, hey, man, it's time. I think it's time to just rip the Band-Aid off and to go, hey, we need somebody to come in with a sense of urgency. We had a completely different philosophy in our front office and on our and from our coaching staff, and we just need to change. We just need to change our ways because clearly what is happening is not working.
You said it yourself not too long ago. Earlier in the season, you said on a podcast that 2026 was probably not the year that we were going to see Piccolo do any firing of any of the managers or any of those people, because he was tied to those people. So like he extended Quatraro, he brought back Zumwalt, like retained him and gave him some better pieces, we thought, with Connor Dawson and Thames in the hitting department, but him being tied to them kind of is the most like, what's the word? Incriminating thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not calling for them to be fired, but if something's going to happen, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with them being the people that do it. I think I would rather us. You know what would make me actually really excited? And what's funny is I have the same, if not by default, less faith in this scenario working out. Fire JJ Piccolo. Fire Matt Quatraro. Fire everybody on the team that is making decisions and doing the coaching. What if we brought in the youngest staff? Bring in the youngest ever general manager, the youngest ever manager. Something like that would just make me excited.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to make me excited. By default, though, like I said, I'm either equal or less because they don't have the record of doing it. Like they don't have the proven,
I
track record. But like that would make me excited. And that's the kind of thing that I would rather hand the reins off to someone else who they are actually going to get all of the blame for all of the moves moving forward, have them trade away all the players that they want to trade away, and see what we can get and see what happens in 2027 and have that be your first official observation season.
Yeah.
Start bringing up people when they're too young and see what they can bring.
I was talking to a guy. I was wearing my 2014 ALCS shirt. I was walking through Walmart and somebody saw it and he was like, "Dude, that is an awesome shirt." And I was like, "Thanks, man. Better times." And then we started talking and I said, "What do you think? What do you think needs to happen right now?" He goes, "Well, Q needs to go." And Q lost the locker room. So shout out to guy at Walmart. But
That's awesome.
Q has lost the locker room, and we started getting into the examples of the Salvador Perez tweet and Seth Lugo talking about ABS to the media. And I said, "Okay, I agree with that. What would you like to see happen?" And he said, "Well, one of two things." He said, "I want to see them make like an unconventional hire, bring in like some young guy that's just a little bit different." And I said, "Yeah, it's kind of like the San Francisco Giants did this year. They hired a college coach, and it's hard to know one season in, really, how that's going to go." But or he said, bring in like a retread, but bring in an established, successful manager. And I was like, yeah, I like that. I'm like, I want somebody like Aaron Boone. I want somebody like, give me like Joe Girardi. It doesn't have to be Joe Girardi, but give me somebody like that's been there, done that. Joe Madden. Somebody like, I don't know what Joe Madden's doing with his life, but if he wants to be the next Royals manager, I'd sign up for that today.
Yeah. Something that I saw on Twitter was they were saving the manager spot for Salvi when he retires. And I could not be less interested in that. I will be completely honest. That's just more of the same regime.
No, exactly.
Salvi was brought up in the Dayton Moore era. He is a product of Dayton Moore.
Yep.
And JT Piccolo is a product of Dayton Moore. I'm ready to move on from that regime.
Yeah.
Like I'm eternally thankful. Like I got to witness championship baseball once in my life, and that is a blessing that I will carry for my entire life. I'll remember those things forever. But I'm ready to move on, man. I'm ready to just see something else happen. And the thought of just some guy from California with a cool haircut, fancy glasses, talks really cool, like that idea, just it gets me excited. I don't know what or why, and it's totally off base from what the Royals would do because they promoted from within with JJ Piccolo. They thought that they had something there.
Where's the MLB equivalent Sean McVay? You know, that's kind of the
dude. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's kind of the thought. But I was just since we're on the subject, I put out a short the other day that was, and I opened it with a question of, and I've asked you this before on the podcast, but I don't think I've ever asked the audience.
Yeah.
And I said, what needs to happen between now and 2027 for you to feel optimistic about the Royals future? And got some good responses. So just on Instagram, fire Q, that'd be a start. A lot of it was they need to rebuild the farm.
Just read them off.
They need to rebuild the farm system. This one actually is from the Frog. I actually think the offensive core is looking okay. We need some starters that aren't made of glass and a whole new bullpen. That's all, just an entire pitching staff, and I'd be confident. I think the bullpen needs to go. I think starters that aren't made of glass. I think that I agree with that. I think because you have Chris Bubich, Cole Reagan's two pitchers that we have been heavily reliant on, have 2 seasons in a row now have not been there for us, and that goes back to
have glass bones and paper skin.
Yeah.
Every morning I break my legs. Every afternoon I break my arms.
That goes to does Nick Kinney and Kyle Turner, do they need to go? Right? Is it something that's happening in the conditioning that needs to be looked at? And this guy Jacob, top 10 in stolen bases, nearly top 10 in average, around league average in most batting stats that aren't home runs, bottom of the league in almost every relevant pitching number. We can't hit for power or pitch. Story of the Royals last half decade. So yeah, They need to get the farm system back. This is from T Stratton. They need to get the farm system back to the best in the league. They haven't had a top minor league since the World Series win in 2015. Enough of showing off the number 1 draft pick. Let's see it on the field.
Oh wow, so he's already even moved on from seeing Caglione.
I don't think he's overseeing Caglione. I think it's like, what else do you have?
Who else? Yeah.
And then over on TikTok, a couple over there. Steve Wilkinson. I can't imagine anything that would make me feel hopeful for next year. So yeah, that's fair. Dan the Man, anything to stock their weak minor league system outside the 40-man roster, I doubt 2027 will come to fruition due to the lockout. So there's just, it's a small sample size, but change. We need change.
Yeah, we're all ready for change. And it's funny because most of us are kind of scared of change, or we don't want change, but we've been suffering through this for the last decade and we're ready for change. I think that we saw how excited the city got whenever the observation season was cooked. And then in 2024, we came back and we saw a little bit of change. We saw a little bit of that Matt Quatrero, let's try something new flair. And we got to the playoffs and we were all excited that we actually got some change. But
and that's what's crazy. Like between 2023 and 2024, they had one of the best turnarounds in history, right? It was a 30-game improvement. Yeah. And a lot of that was they had, not including Michael Massey because he was injured, but they had 7 players. They only had 7 returning players on the 2024 opening day roster that were part of the 2023 roster. So they just completely were like, yeah, 20 of you guys need to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me 7 names right now that you want to see on 2027.
2027.
7 names. That's all I need to hear.
Okay. So Bobby Wood Jr., Jack Caglione, Carter Jensen, Michael Wacha, Daniel Lynch IV. I'll take John Schreiber again. I feel like
Okay.
I feel like he might get traded. Michael Garcia.
Okay. Wow. So we had Bobby, Cags, Carter, Wacha, Lynch, Schreiber, Garcia.
And there's more. There's more that I would have. Like but to stick with the theme, those are the 7. And if you ask me 10 minutes from now, I might give you different names. So
Yeah. I mean, my list would look similar. I think I would be a hard pass on Schreiber.
That's fine.
I mean, I don't know his age, but it's like, man, something that breaks my heart is just knowing that there's so many teams in the league that have serviceable MLB play, and serviceable doesn't necessarily mean championship winning, but bring it back to what John Sherman said. I don't want you to try to break your back and fail at trying to produce a championship team. Let's see what a wild card team looks like. All I'm asking for is to get in the playoffs. Like seeing what we did in 2024, I don't expect us to 3-game sweep the ALDS again, or the wild card week, whatever, or the wild card series, whatever that was. I don't expect to see that ever. It was a beautiful thing to see. But like the series that we barely lost to the Yankees, if we saw that for 3 of the next 5 seasons, like obviously that's not ideal, but it's better than being 21 games below 500.
Well, it goes back.
That's all I'm trying to say.
No, you're right.
Like we're bargaining.
It goes
with
back
something we shouldn't have to bargain.
Would you rather be? Because we talk about it. Like, would you rather be the? I think I said it in the offseason. Would you rather be the Kansas City Royals, where they've won a championship in the last decade, or be the Guardians or the Brewers, where they haven't won a championship, but they're competitive every dang year? And you're kind of like, you think about it and you're like, I don't know, I love the championship. And we don't even have to have the championship hypothetical, but like, we're not asking you to win a championship every year. We're asking you, like, be the Guardians. The Guardians and the Brewers, every season, nobody expects anything out of them. I don't know why. I'm one of those people, but I don't know why. And every year, here they are. Brewers are in first. Guardians, I haven't looked at the central standings because it makes me sad. But Yeah, they're one game back behind Chicago. So like
Yeah.
there is that's incompetence for me. Like because
Yeah.
especially going into this season in 2026, most people were like the Royals are going to compete for the Central. And who messed up that analysis? Who messed up there? Like everybody didn't just misread the Royals, right? Something has gone catastrophically wrong inside the Royals clubhouse this season.
That's a good point to make. And what you said there, the key word there was the clubhouse. Like, I think that once the room has a collective loser mentality, collective like ho hum, it changes you. Like the whole team is full of winners. Like I think Vinny Pasquantino, if he were on a team that was good, he'd be thriving. I think if Michael Garcia was on a team, not to bring this up, but if he was on a team with more Venezuelans or more Spanish-speaking players that he could really, really thrive off of, I think he'd be an all-star this year. There's things that just aren't equating a winning team in Kansas City right now, and we always say it starts with leadership. So it's kind of one of those things. And the trade deadline is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I would love to start seeing some moves be made. I would love, like right now, if I got a notification that the Royals make a big trade, I would be so excited. But at the same time, I'm a little nervous because, like I just said, I'm not sure I want JJ Piccolo being the guy making those calls because I don't know if he's the guy. In fact, I don't want him to be the guy. Sorry, JJ.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I want the Royals to like ELR. I want the Royals to know who we are. I want them to not be mad that there's people that are talking about the Royals because we're being critical. But shouldn't the Royals as an organization be happy that we are passionate and that we want to see winning?
I think like you should want your fans to hold you accountable. Like you shouldn't see the fan reaction to how your season is going and be upset about it. That should light a fire under you and go, yeah. No, we need to do better, and what we're doing isn't good enough. And we have yet to see anybody come out and say that. We aren't good enough. It starts from the top. And John Sherman, like, I think he's been a great owner for the Royals, but he's been radio silence outside of the stadium stuff.
You're not wrong, man. So in Royals news, Bobby Witt Jr. was out of the lineup for 2 straight days. So Bobby Witt Jr., he was experiencing what JJ Piccolo was trying to explain. Oh, he didn't get as long of a break as everybody else because during the All-Star week, he had to play in the All-Star game. So Bobby, he needed a little day off because he was tired. It was really hot. The heat was getting to him, which, hey, the heat's getting to me. I'm sitting in an air-conditioned basement right now. I feel good, but the heat's getting to me too. I step outside for 30 seconds. I have the craziest underboob sweat you might have ever seen. So I'm not going to say that playing baseball in 100-degree weather is fun.
We also don't sign up for that. So
yeah, exactly.
But that, okay, I'll let you finish your point. But that point from JJ Piccolo is the exact problem with this regime. It's hot outside, so he didn't get a break like everybody else did. I'm like, what?
And I'll tell you what I mentioned off air. So it was, I don't know who was on call with Eisenberg last night. It was either Guthrie or Montgomery. But after the Royals walked it off, awesome squeeze bunt. Nick Lofton, all the credit, that you deserve. Josh Rojas getting on base, all the credit you deserve. That was a very clutch win.
My favorite player.
After we blew the game. Yeah. 2026 Royals MVP, Josh Rojas. So, blow the game, come back. Hey, great game. Good job, everybody. It was either Guthrie or Montgomery. They say, oh, this team has no quit. Oh, they're relentless. They got no quit. There's no quit in them. They're never out of the game. And you were like, look as far.
Yeah,
don't me like look no further than yesterday's box score.
Me looks at yesterday's box score. The Royals lose 19-2.
Yeah, it's like they have no quit. They quit on yesterday's game before the game even started. There was only like one starter in the game 2 days ago, the 19-2 loss,
which is crazy for being
What
just out of the All-Star break.
I know. What in the world is going on? And guess who made that decision? It was Matthew Quatrero. Like, these are things that we all just looked at and we're like, what in the world? If I paid money, this is literally, I like to think I'd be that guy. If I paid money to go to that game on Sunday, I walk in, I sit down, and then I see that starting lineup on the Jumbotron, I would get up, go to guest services, and I would say, the Royals are not serious about winning this game. It's the first inning. I'm leaving. Give me my money back or give me a voucher for another ticket because I do not want to sit here and watch this game. I hope I would do that. I don't think I would because I already brought my butt out there and I'm already sitting in the seat. But, dude, that's how I would feel. You're telling me that they just completely sent it on in a game. There's only X games left, and you're going to throw out every single bench player you have to start that game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
The third game out of the All-Star break is a joke to be doing that.
Yeah, like, I used to give Quatrero credit. I used to give I used to give Quatrero credit for doing something. And that was the ultimate king move. Checkmate. I'm doing something, guys. Look at me. I'm doing something. Just give every single starter the day off. Throw Caglione out there and maybe Collins was playing.
I don't
That
know.
was the weirdest lineup I've ever seen. I hope that we see that in one of the random Royals lineup someday.
Dude.
In some random game.
At least Tyler Tolbert got some pitching work in.
Yeah.
But
so to finish the thought, Bobby Witt Jr., I have no idea if he's actually hurt. I don't know if they're just mismanaging his injury. I don't know if he's actually hurt. They said that they would reevaluate him Tuesday afternoon, which is later today, time of recording. So not really a ton of fun news there. Kyle Isbell is starting a rehab game tonight in Omaha. Or not in Omaha, it's in some random city, Salt Lake City, I think.
Yeah.
With Omaha, yeah. Well, in other MLB news, the Red Sox, they're on a 14-game winning streak. What? Go ahead.
You want to talk about a team that did something? It was a team that was dead in the water, and they had Alex Cora, and they had all these expectations coming into the season, and it wasn't going well, and they went, nope, and just rug pulled, everybody gone, 14 straight, literally hold on to a wild card spot right now. The season ended today. Not to steal your point, but it makes me so mad seeing what them and the Phillies have done this season.
Yeah. And that's a story of a team that they were able to see the writing on the wall before, and they had ownership with the guts to do something. And it breaks my heart to know that the Royals, we don't have the worst record in the MLB. We have the third worst record in the MLB, but that is like, this is a terrible moment for us to have to look here and see all the other teams that did something, and we're still here. Like, there's multiple teams that did something and it resulted in very different ways. The Red Sox, they did something, they cleaned house, and they're a wild card team. The Mets did the same thing, and they're still probably fourth or fifth worst record in the MLB.
Probably too late for them to do anything. But like the Phillies,
they were a little too late.
Phillies in April, or it was early May. I don't remember when they got rid of Thompson, but immediately, they won like 9 straight or something. Don't quote me on that with Don Mattingly, and now here they are. It's one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah. So,
give me Don Mattingly
the rest of the MLB is
as Royals
fun.
Manager, even though he's probably going to get the Phillies job. But
I mean, I would say if it's not going to be some random young buck, that's maybe one of the only names that would get me excited. Like you said, give me a Joe Girardi, give me an Aaron Boone. Don Mattingly might be a close third place to that. So, like, if you're going to give me any name that I know, that might be one of the only ones. I think I would prefer see some guy that just looks way too cool for school We hired him. He's only like 39 years old, coming out of California, coming out of Nevada or something. And you're like, okay.
That's Joe Madden that you're describing, except Joe Madden's 72. super cool guy out of California with
really nice,
super cool glasses.
Yeah. Proud of the Red Sox. They're doing something cool. They're a fun team to watch. And it's funny because, like, everybody loves the Royals. I would imagine that most of the people who listen to our podcast don't care about anything else in the MLB. But when you're a fan of a sport, you want to see good results in the sport. And you like seeing things like the Mike Trout story. He's an old player that he's having a resurgence. He's still good. Like, don't forget about Mike Trout. But it's also just like, I like seeing good baseball played. Like, sue me, dude. I would rather, like, there was a Yankees versus Dodgers game yesterday that was
Phillies Dodgers.
Phillies Dodgers. I would much rather watch Schwarber and Harper and co. go up against Ohtani and Freeman and co. and watch good competitive baseball as opposed to having to sit and watch whatever the heck that lineup was on Sunday going up against the random Padres that suck.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's actually, I love that you mentioned Mike Trout because he was leadoff batter in the All-Star game. And I was like,
yeah,
it just felt right, Like, man,
yeah,
Mike Trout is back. Love that for him.
Yeah. It's one of those stories that just, like, he had all those years with injury, like, taken out of the season, essentially, with injuries for the better half of this last decade. And it's been a long time since we've seen him in the All-Star game, let alone leading off. So it was really nice to see. It felt very right.
Yeah.
So Orioles extend Kyle Bradish to a 5-year, $90 million extension. How's he looking, Brandon? Are you excited for the Orioles about this?
I saw this, and he's the highest paid pitcher in Orioles history. And I saw this, I was like, oh, good for him. And he's having a fine season. He's 3.61 ERA, has 106 strikeouts. But I was like, oh, let me put together a little package of Kyle Bradish stats and like what he's doing. And I was just like sifting through MLB's just pitching stats, not getting too deep. And I was like, he's not top 25 in any of these stats that I'm looking at, but I'm like, good for him. Again, like 5 for 90. Like at the end of the day, it's really just pocket change for a team. So good for them. I think.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they've extended a handful of players over the last 18 months.
So you know who that reminds me of? Ian Kennedy.
Yeah.
Looking this up, he had a 5-year, $70 million contract with the Royals. It was the highest contract that the Royals had given to a starting pitcher in history at the time. The year before we signed him, he had a 4.28 ERA. What's that other stat that you had written down at 106 strikeouts?
Strikeouts, yeah.
So strikeouts, he had 174. So that's much more. Oh my goodness, much more. I mean, that's only half the sample size. Yeah, that's a whole season. But I would assume that halfway through the season, it's aggressively close to that. Let's look at inflation calculator. So in 2016, I purchased Ian Kennedy for $70 million.
Wow.
Then in 2026, the item would cost $97.4 million. So essentially, you're telling me that the Orioles just extended Ian Kennedy to a 5-year, $90 million extension. What'd you say?
They got a deal on him, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, steal. Oh my gosh, you got 10% off.
Yeah,
doorbuster.
Yeah.
Funny comp, but to give Royals fans a perspective.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
I wanted to get to this real quick because it's relevant in sports news, but ESPN's doing a bunch of layoffs right now, and which stinks. ESPN just purchased NFL Network, and so they're making a bunch of changes. A bunch of NFL Network behind the scenes people are going to lose their jobs, which stinks. But big names, Karl Ravech, who's been with ESPN for like 30 years, called baseball, college baseball. Think he does basketball. He does. Anyway, he's been with them a long time. Literally called a game for ESPN last night. The Phillies-Dodgers game that you were talking about. He called that game.
Yeah.
He's getting laid off after 30 years of service. Tom Pelissero, great NFL insider for NFL Network.
Oh, yeah.
Getting laid off by ESPN. Ryan Clark got laid off mid-show during NFL Live. Literally finished his segment and got pulled off the air. Not because they're like, we got to get him off now, but because media, it was going to end up getting leaked and they didn't want him to like read online that he had gotten let go. So they're like, let's tell him.
Yeah.
But
where'd Ryan Clark go? Where'd he go? What happened?
Yeah. But
I think that's the non-player in you bringing this up. That's the non-player in you, I think.
You gonna do that to me right here? Dude, honestly, Ryan Clark, with that example, like, he had it coming. Like, he was
Yeah.
he apologized like 3 times just last year over his conduct. And yeah, you don't get to go after Peter Schrager or anybody. I think the whole, like, I said this to you, I think the whole, well, you didn't play at the highest level, so you can't possibly know what it's like talking like they are in military combat or something, like they're actually doing something significant. No, you're playing football. At the end of the day, football's football. A sport is a sport. Like, you're right. I don't know what it's like to be an NFL player, but I know what it's like to play sports.
Yeah. Like, I think just because you played it doesn't mean you know more about it necessarily. You might know more about the ins and outs of the on-field product. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know more than you do.
You know X's and O's better than I do. Sure. I'll give you that.
Good job. I'm proud of you. But yeah, I hate that mentality. Like, nothing makes me want to watch you less than you acting high and mighty, thinking that you're better, and then trying to... I remember that interview that we're referencing where he's like, that's the non-player in you. And Peter Schrager's like, don't belittle me like that, man. Just because you played, I have 3 people on this panel next to us that have different points of view than you do, different perspectives. So you don't have to be the one that has the say all be all or whatever that saying is. But I just can't stand that. It's like, I would much rather watch someone that's humble and not going to be a freaking jerkwad about it all. Like, what was like I was about to say. No. I love Stephen A. Smith. Stay off the weed.
He's funny.
Yeah.
They got to lay off all the people because of how much money they pay him. What's your honorable mention for the week?
Oh, man. Well, I will make a playoff of what I had last week. So I had a few last week that need to be mentioned because they're very honorable. So I have 2 honorable mentions for my honorable mentions, and then I have 1 main actual shout out that I have to give. So first of all, Chicago. 2 awesome things happened. First of all, the Cubs in Wrigley Field announced that they're opening up a Portillo's restaurant in Wrigley Stadium, Wrigley Field. I love Portillo's. They might have the best Italian beef ever.
Give me Portillo's. Give me a Portillo's in Kansas City. Come on.
Dude. Oh. A little bit. Kansas City is very Midwest to have a Portillo's. However, we can have anything here. So it's what it is. So shout out Wrigley. You're doing something right. And then right down the street, Tristan Peters, a player for the Chicago White Sox, formerly of the Savannah Bananas, hit for the cycle, which was absolutely awesome. The Royals haven't hit for a cycle in like 40 years. I think George Brett was the last guy that did it, but then the White Sox have a Savannah Banana coming stealing somebody's job and hits for the cycle. Dude, shout out that guy and his story. That's super cool. To think that you can go from being a banana from Savannah to just being a sock from White, that's very cool. But my true honorable mention, I don't know if you saw it, but let me just read off this article. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
The Sunlight Protection Act is a proposed bill in Congress aimed at making daylight savings time permanent across the United States, eliminating the need for biannual clock changes. It has received bipartisan support and was recently included in a motor vehicle safety bill that passed a House committee. So now this bill is going to the Senate, and then it will go to the president, depending on if it passes. But the United States is passing legislation to get rid of daylight savings. Can we just acknowledge? I know the political landscape in America is crazy, but this is a gigantic political dub. This administration's doing something right.
You like it?
I love it.
You love it. All right. You ready for
I do.
For me? All right. So I have
Let me hear
a
it.
couple silly honorable mentions. One, the Royals are starting to sign their draft picks. They signed Zion Rose. They signed Banks Wickersham. Yeah, but they signed Zion Rose, their first round pick. But no, my dude.
And Bummer.
Yeah, and Aaron Bummer. They signed Aaron Bummer, I think was his name, to a minor league deal. But no, dude, got me thinking about food. I love Portillo's. When I went to Chicago a few years back. I think I was there. It was 4 or 5 days. I went to Portillo's 3 times. That's like,
what an incredible use of adult free will right there.
Exactly. Can't stop me. It's the beauty of being an adult. But no,
amazing.
So it's July. It's the dog days. But no, my wife and I, we like to get recipes off of Instagram, and most of the time they're awesome. But
oh man, this is an honorable hungry daddy hour, man.
So we got we call it a fancy sandwich. I don't know, it's just what we call it. But it is one of the best sandwiches ever. We had it for dinner I guess 2 nights ago. So it's turkey, bacon, arugula, caramelized onions, apple slices, mayo, jalapeno jam. I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe not.
Jalapeno jam.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, and brie cheese. That's what I was missing.
Oh,
I'm telling
brie
you.
cheese, the softest.
I'm telling you.
Fancy sandwiches.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
Put that concoction together and then,
dude,
let me know.
Okay, so I gotta say, full disclosure, I am a sandwich guy. Not even kidding. Last night, I watched a 45-minute ASMR video of a mom making sandwiches for her sons. She spent 45 minutes making sandwiches and individually bagging them, and every sandwich sounded absolutely fire. Dude. And what I want to say, arugula, overrated. Jalapeno jam is good on sandwiches, not burgers. If you're ever at a restaurant and it says jalapeno jam or jalapeno aioli or some random thing, don't get that. It's going to be gross. It's a weird mouth thing. Hot burger with that, it's just not it. It's not it, okay?
That's all.
But
that's just like your opinion, man.
Arugula, like, I don't know. I'd rather have like a spring mix. I'd rather be like a spinach or like something that like has a, because arugula, it's like doesn't do it for me. It's almost like how, like, you know how in some Mexican dishes, some people don't like cilantro. Are you a cilantro guy?
I love cilantro.
I love cilantro too. It's really good. It makes something just, it has the cilantro flavor. It sometimes it needs cilantro. That. But arugula is one of those things where I've always seen people put it on their sandwiches and acting like it's going to make it that much better. And like some people on Italian sandwiches, they'll put just straight up basil.
It's just greens.
And basil,
just gotta get your
it's
greens.
just a strong, but it has a flavor that's just not.
Yeah, but
it makes the sandwich go from a potentially elite sandwich to like
that's
an arugula sandwich.
That's it's a subjective opinion. Okay, but think about.
I challenge you. Throw something else on there, like a spring mix, instead of the arugula.
It's not gonna make a difference. Because I think.
But for me, it does. But for me, it would.
For you, it would.
But the overall good that's doing, the net good will be better without the arugula.
For you. That's
for everybody.
for you. But anyway,
Technically.
like listen to those ingredients though, and like whenever we first started
That is
making
a
that
fancy
sandwich, I was like, "What this? There's no way this is going to be good. This is a mess of ingredients." And then I'm like,
Are you kidding?
"Dude,
Are you
this
kidding?
is great." And I also, since we're talking about sandwiches, I want to shout out the Russell. Have you ever had the Russell on Main Street? They have
Never
a steak.
Never ever.
They have a sandwich that might be my favorite sandwich called the steak chimney. Ooh,
Ooh.
go to the
hear it.
Russell, get the steak chimney. They're only open 11 to 4. They got weirdo hours, but
Where the heck is this? The Russell?
on-
Is that the
yeah,
restaurant?
it's on Main Street. It's on Main Street. If you know where the Gates is on Main Street, it's next to Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Never been there.
oh. Well, I mean, it's hard to go because their hours are. If I had a complaint about them, it's their hours. Their hours are like if Gordon Ramsay was like doing kitchen nightmares with them, which he's not because they're great. He'd be like, why are you only open for lunch hours or something? I sounded more like New York there, but be like, you need to be open for dinner.
So that was
service."
Boston.
Yeah.
That was Boston. That was a Boston accent. Whoa,
You guys
what's happening?
looking at me?
It's scary. They're staring into the souls of our listeners.
Yeah. All right.
But no, so I want to mention before we get off sandwiches, this is an honorable Hungry Daddy's hour. It's a HHDH right now. So my wife and I sometimes we will make tortas. Not what you're thinking, torta. It's a Hispanic sandwich. It's like a toasted sandwich. Sometimes it has fancy ingredients, but our torta sandwich making evolved into just like sandwiches that Cass enjoys to make. And one of them is off the top of my head, I remember Aldi and Trader Joe's, they have the ciabatta rolls or bread that's like you have to slice it in half and it has like the smooth floured top. And I don't know if you're a balsamic glaze kind of person, or I don't know if you're go to Jimmy John's and get like the Jimmy sauce
That's a
that has
private
like the oil
question.
and vinegar. Oh, let's
Yeah.
see how it is.
I don't spend
But no,
money at
those
Jimmy
are-
John's anymore. It's so expensive, dude. Like,
$8 for a lunch? What do you mean? They got the drink, the
Dude,
chips, and the sandwich for
no,
$8 now.
It is not worth it. I got a wrap there the other day, a chicken Caesar wrap the other day.
Oh, those are too small.
Well, I'm like this. All of their sandwiches are not worth the squeeze. Anyway, continue.
That's just it's a surprisingly hot take to just throw at me right before I'm supposed to. It's okay. It's okay. I forgive you. No, but Jimmy John's, I'm not gonna say they've fallen off, but I think the allure is a little bit less now that there's so many sandwich places you can get. Like, I don't know. But anyway, blah blah blah. We make that one with like ciabatta, fresh mozzarella, the big thick cut mozzarella. Get the big ball and just slice into slices. Whatever meats you want. Some spinach and some of that balsamic glaze. Some good mayo, some Duke's mayo or something like that. Brother. Game over. Some tomato. You got to get some nice tomato with some salt and pepper on it.
There you go.
Give me, dude.
We could just do an entire episode on
Give me
great sandwiches if you wanted to, but I'm not gonna. Because there's a chicken.
I gotta say it.
There's a chicken Caesar.
BLTs.
Oh yeah. There's a chicken Caesar sandwich that we make. You
yeah?
shallow fry, you pan fry the chicken, and you just whip together like a Caesar salad basically, and sandwiches, man.
Just throw a couple little. When you do those though, do you like do the thing where you get your chicken and you smash it down to
Oh yeah,
like a little
you gotta smash it.
chicken fillet cutlet, and then it's nice and
Yeah,
flat?
you gotta smash it. Otherwise, it's too thick.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. Last night, watching that ASMR video about the sandwiches being made, I'm in the sandwich mood. And this is like God telling me that it's sandwich time.
Yeah, it is.
It is sandwich time. I think sandwich time for both of us.
I think it
maybe.
is sandwich time. So on that note, it's time to get out of here. And
Yes,
eat a
sir.
sandwich.
Yes, Thursky. One last thing I'll mention before we sign off. The Royals did announce their 2027 schedule If you're interested, go check it out.
Yeah.
Opening up the season March 25th, Thursday night against Minnesota.
Don't buy tickets.
Then we will immediately have an. Why is that? What do you mean?
The odds,
Everybody loves opening day.
The odds of them actually playing that game are so small.
I mean, you'll get a refund though, right? I mean, wouldn't you want to be? I want to buy tickets because you said not to. Now I want to do it just to see what happens.
There's a Facebook group called the Ballpark Chasers. Great group. It's just people that love to go to
I've
all
seen that,
30
yeah.
stadiums, and they're people talking about making their, hey, I'm trying to go to, X, Y, and Z cities next year, and everybody's like, don't make travel plans until we know that there's a season.
Hey, got a great point. But yeah, go check it out if you want to. We got a few fun series. Yeah, check it out. Get excited. Maybe baseball will be happening 2027. We all hope. Everybody loves lockouts. That's our official stance. Is everybody loves
lockouts. Yep.
But yeah, give me all right. Give me the youngest manager in Royals history. Let's look that up before we sign off. I keep just saying before.
Well, I
we
know
sign
the
off.
greatest manager in Royals history
was the
Matt Quatraro. I think you're the greatest manager in Royals history.
Oh my gosh! I wish that guy knew we existed.
I know. That guy is just part of our lore. He doesn't even know it.
Oh my gosh. We've had 21 managers throughout our history.
John Wathan.
Was he really?
According to this Google AI, he's the youngest person to serve as the permanent manager, taking over the job at age 37. John Wathan, the Royals Hall of Famer, who we definitely know.
He was at the age
about.
of 37.
Yep.
You brought up John Wathan. Technically, he was in house already. He was the interim, and he was part of the regime already. So after a quick ChatGPT explanation, the youngest permanent manager ever hired by the Kansas City Royals, who was not part of the regime already, was 42-year-old Jack McKeon in 1972.
World Series
or
champion
1973,
Jack McKeon with the Florida Marlins.
Really? Oh, wow. You just know ball.
I do.
You just know ball randomly.
Is he still alive?
Whitey Herzog was hired at 43. Tony Pena was hired at 45. Trey Hillman was hired at 45. Yeah, man. Give me a 39-year-old. Give me a 39 or younger, man. Give me a 35-year-old. Give me a 35-year-old manager. Here's my list. Give me a 35-year-old manager. Oh, go ahead. What
Jack
you say?
McKeon won. He was 72 in 2003 when the Marlins won the World Series. And
was he their manager?
Yeah, he's not. He's 95 right now. Get him in the dugout. Get him back here.
Dude, amazing. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, give me a new GM. 35 years old. Give me a new manager. 35 or younger. No older than 41 years old. John Schuerholz.
Yeah.
The Royals hired Royals general manager John Schuerholz during the 1981 offseason. Took over for Joe Burke. Became the youngest general manager in Major League Baseball, not just for the Royals. Wow. Dayton Moore was 39, turning 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dayton Moore was 39, and he was able to produce a World Series team. All right, man, I'm sold. Give me an under 40. Under 40. That's all I ask for. Under 40. Preferably well under 40. Please, Royals. I want to be excited. I want to be excited about 2027. Let's see what you can do to switch some things up. Our run differential is negative 98 now, by the way, after our 19-2 loss. Sucks to suck. Red Sox are planning on being aggressive during the trade deadline, per Jeff Passan.
Do they still want Cole Reagans?
The Royals bullpen has a ERA of 11.05 in high leverage situations this season. I hope that guy that was stuck in the porta potty is okay and off the streets.
Don't do drugs.
Bro, do you want to get excited with me about Avengers Doomsday? Are you a Marvel guy?
I'm more excited about Spider-Man.
Which one's coming out first?
I don't know. Brand New Day comes out on Celeste's birthday.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, that's coming out way first. Yeah. December 18th of this year. So Christmas time is when Doomsday comes out. But yeah, Spider-Man, I'm hyped about that too. I need to go see that. All right, I'm ready to get out of here, dude.
All right.
I'm not seeing anything new.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to episode 36 and a half of Everybody Loves Royals. We love you. Comment down below what would make you excited about the remainder of 2026. What gets you excited about 2027? Do you have any better ideas than us? How are you feeling right now? What's your honorable mention of the week? I'd love to see what your honorable mention is down there in the comments. But yeah, Brandon, got anything else to say to the fine people?
Yeah, stay cool. Go make yourself a dang fancy sandwich. You'll thank me later. And we'll see you next week.
All right, everybody. Have a good week. Peace. Peace.